Friends, in this session we will be talking about time management, and we will discuss about what is time management, measurement of time and the key findings, benefits and failures of time management, obstacles to time management process, and lastly we will be discussing some concerns about time management. Before I start, I am reading the 10 statements. You just tick whichever is applicable to you. First is, do you meet assignment deadlines? Do you work most of the time in your important projects or assignments? Do you write a daily to-do list? Do you assess the relative importance of activities? Do you plan and allocate time for different activities? Do you prevent social activities from interfering with your time? Are your planned activities completed within the stipulated time? Are you able to change the time expenditure on demands? Do you know that time lost cannot be regained? Do you manage your time? How many ticks you have got? For every tick you assign 1 point. Tally the total number of points you received. If you scored 7 to 9, you are doing well in time management. However, you may need to change 1 or 2 things. If your score is between 4 and 6, you are average in time management, and you are average in and has some good time management skills, but clearly it needs some improvement with help. If your if you scored 1 to 3, you should get a plan together for what you want to address these issues, because it is not a good indicator of your time management. So, therefore, kindly consult an academic coach or any expert how you can manage effectively your time. Having said this, let us now define what is time management. Time cannot be managed because it is an inaccessible factor. Time management can be viewed as a way of monitoring and controlling time. In this regard, it would be more appropriate to speak about self management with regard to performance of multiple tasks within a stipulated period of time or within the certain time that is available to you. But self management has a different meaning. It is the monitoring and regulating of self, and it has no reference to time. Therefore, we use the word time management. Lectire, who suggested that time management involves the process of determining needs, setting goals to achieve these needs, prioritizing and planning tasks required to achieve these goals. And this is the definition adopted by or accepted by many scholars on time management. Of course, the definition differs as the number of scholars try to define time management. But if we analyze all the definitions given by different experts or the authors in this field on time management refers to the behavior that aim at achieving an effective use of time while performing certain goal directed activities. So, if you analyze this statement, you will be finding 3 markers are coming out of it. Behavior that aim at achieving effective use of time while performing certain goal directed activities. So, one must be effective in achieving the one must be effective in achieving the use of time while performing certain goal directed activities. That means, first one is that one must have self awareness of one's time use. That means, which help to accept tasks and responsibilities that fit within the limit of one's capabilities. Then next is planning behaviors, such as setting goals, planning tasks, prioritizing the different activities or the works or jobs, making to-do lists, grouping tasks which aim at an effective use of time. Then monitoring and controlling behavior. And in this case, we aim to observe, it generates a feedback loop. If we allocate different time for different jobs, are you able to achieve that? Or are there some interruptions? So, by monitoring and controlling behavior, we can also gauge the effective use of time. So, therefore, it is the self awareness of time, planning how long you can spend on specific activities, and monitoring time on different activities. So, all the three things together define time management. There are some words that is used in time management. Sometimes you use the word chronotype. It is the circadian rhythms. Within 24 hours, what the person does. And some people are there, those who are active during the morning. In the first half of the day, they will be very active. They are called the morning type people. And some people are there, those who will be active during the early and late evening hours, late night hours as well as early evening hours. They will be very active, and they are called the evening type people. Similarly, another and there are many attributes that is associated with that, but we are, most of us are morning type people, and less than that are the evening type people, and some people are there, those who are equally morning and evening type. They do not fall into this classification. Similarly, there are polychronic and monochronic use of time. Some people are there, those who can use the time in multiple tasks. They are called polychronic individuals. They have a preference to perform 2 or more tasks simultaneously. On the contrary, the monochronic individuals, they perform one task at a time, and they do the one task after another sequentially. They cannot do multiple tasks at the same time. And culture also influences our use of time, because in western cultures like Europe and US, if time is given for a specific task, they do the particular task in that particular time. But in eastern societies, particularly in Asian countries, one can mark that people do multiple tasks during the same time slot. So, therefore, in cultures, western cultures, they have do a specific task in a specific time, but in eastern Asian societies, you will be finding people do multiple tasks on the same time slot. And there are how to measure this time management. Of course, in the beginning we have given some hint how time management can be assessed or evaluated, but there is a popular scale by Macan, and which comprises of 3 components. One is the setting goals and priorities, mechanics of time management, that is make to do list, and second is the preference for organization of time, having a preference for an orderly way of working. Third is perceived control of time. So, this matches with the way we define the time earlier, and accordingly the theories are there also for time management, and they also comply with this Makan's way of assessing time or measuring time management. And there are some critical findings on time management. The literature says that women manage better time than that of men. Older students or older people better show time management than the younger people or younger students. And in our own study we conducted in single and dual career families. Single career families is one where one person from the family is from the nuclear family is employed, either of the spouse are employed. But the dual career family is one where both the husbands and wives they are employed. Studying the wives in single and dual career families, we found that wives in single career families and husbands in dual career families are more polychronic. That means, wives in single career family within the same time slot they do many activities, whereas husbands in dual career families in the same time slot they do many activities. And short range planning, also time management attitudes were significant predictor in cumulative grade point average, and it accounts more than that of the scholastic aptitude test score. That means, given that fact that you have short range planning and good time management attitudes, more likely your academic performance will improve. Either you manage the time or the time will manage you, because it is a scarce resource. Once it is gone, it is permanently gone. Students who perceive that they can regulate their time or control their time as per the demands of various activities, they reported significantly greater evaluation of their performance, greater work and life satisfaction, less role ambiguity, less role overload, and fewer job related tensions and somatic tensions. That means, effectively managing the time will lead to not only higher performance, greater life and work satisfaction, but also to less stress and less role ambiguity. And when the literature were collectively analyzed, it was found that time management also relates to performance, but the relationship is weakest, it is not strong. It was the weakest relationship, whereas the strongest relationship was found when time management is proper, then it reduce the stress or decrease the stress. And it has been found also, given the time management training, it also increases the participants self reported time management skills. So, therefore, time management training can improve your time management skills. And benefits of time management is that greater productivity and efficiency wherever you work, a better professional reputation if you are working on a profession, less stress, increased opportunities for advancement, greater opportunities to achieve the life goals as well as the career goals. And if you fail to manage time, then you are missing the deadlines. And if you are working in the process industry, where the output of one department will become the input for another department, then in that case there will be inefficient workflow if you are unable to manage time. And it will also lead to poor work quality and lead to feelings of guilt, inadequacy, depression, self doubt, poor reputation and stalled career and high stress. So, therefore, do not put off things, do the things as you have scheduled. And of course, every one of us want that, but there are many obstacles to manage the times. And if your goal is unclear, what you are going to do and your objectives are unclear, then you cannot effectively manage the time, because you do not know what I am going to do. And if you are disorganized, if you have not organized your task and time, then you cannot allocate the time for different tasks. And one of the major hindrance or one of the major issue in time management is that some people are there, even if when the tasks are assigned to them, they say yes. One essential fact is that if you are unable to manage your time and the task, straight so no. And there are various interruptions while you are doing the tasks. So, therefore, we fail to, like your replying to the emails, phone calls during when you are working on a particular activity, these are the interruptions. And there is periods of inactivity while you have no task and time is plentifully available, because in concept we all the time say time is ever present, but never ending. So, if that is your concept, then you cannot effectively use, because time is always present and never ending. If this is your concept, then you cannot effectively manage the time. And many people want to do too many things at one time, that creates the problem. And if you are stressed or if you are continuously working, then your fatigue will be there, mental stress will be there, that will also be obstacle to do the different tasks smartly and effectively. And lastly, all work and no play, all the time work, but there is no relaxation, that will also a hindrance to time management, because you will not, your battery will not be continuously recharged to do the new activities. So, therefore, after every work we require some rest, relaxation, and then you start another job, that will be more effective. Having said this, then how to manage this time? First of all, you set the time and the task goals, that will help you to define how you want to live and what you want to achieve. Define yourself what will be long term and what will be your short term goals. And in the case of students, and you will be finding, in case of students, you identify the best time of the day, study difficult or boring subjects fast, use the same place to study every time, use the library or the location within very little distractions, avoid distractions, use a waiting time to study, and that treat profession or school as a full time job. If you do that, because it is your main purpose is to study, you can manage your time effectively and can be effective. Let us now come to a professional context. That is, we are mentioning how you can do your everyday job, and once the job is there, you complete whatever job is in the day, you complete the same job today. Not doing a job means a debt unpaid, and it will, if you do not do the job, then there will be pending jobs continuously, and the pending jobs will put the stress on you. So, therefore, doing the job everyday's job, doing the today's job today is the best option. And if there is a complex job, then you break down the complex job into different components, as we solve a problem in engineering. If a engineering problem is solved, then the entire problem is to decompose it into various components. In each component we see how re-engineering can be done. Similarly, if the job is very complex and integrate, decompose the job into different components and complete each component of the job or handle each component of the job daily as you schedule. And for daily job, clear the desk, clear the desk of all papers every day except those relating to your immediate job. List the jobs to be done in that particular day or prepare a to-do list. And if possible, when you are preparing the to-do list, if some jobs can be delegated to others, you can delegate the job to others. But at the same time, you have to see the person to whom you are delegating the job, he must have the ability and interest to do the job. And at the same time, when you are delegating a job, there may be some other persons or resources associated with doing the job. So, inform the persons and also arrange the resources, so that the persons can help the doer as well as the resources can be there for the delegatee. And once the job is assigned or delegated the jobs to others, to another persons, you also monitor, because monitoring and reminding is very important, otherwise it will be never completed. Doing the job will lead to their self growth and development. And at the same time, while delegating the job, you have to see, give some freedom and flexibility to the person, because if you every time go on dictating the way the job will be done and the time will be managed, then in that case what will the person who is doing the job or the delegatee will lose the interest in doing the job. He will not exercise his creativity and innovation in doing the job. So, and after that you prioritize the job in order of importance and fix the time slot for each job. And after fixing, then doing the job requires certain resources like computer, peer support, machine time, etc. Accordingly, organize the resources. Do the fast thing fast, so that the tension is released. Generally, people start with the difficult one, so that the tension is released. Or if you are not very uncomfortable, if you are very uncomfortable with the job, or you are not feeling very comfortable with the job that is assigned to you, then start with the simplest one, so that it will build your confidence, and then you can go on increasing your level of difficulty in doing the job. So, therefore, organize the resources. Next, do the fast thing fast, the difficult job fast, so that the tension is released. After completing a job, relax through conversation, sit coolly, vacate chairs, so that you are again energized to do a new job. Attempt the next job and work throughout the duty hours until all jobs are completed in that day. And doing this will increase the confidence in you, it will teach you self discipline, and it will ensure target realization and leave the time for other non work activities, like your giving time to the family, giving time to the community, and doing doing the work voluntarily for the community, or attending to the friends and relatives. So, you can find, if you do it in that way, it will leave the time for non work activities, and it is just basically a planning and problem solving approach to your daily activities. Doing it, you will also feel satisfied and your stress level will be low, because you are not keeping any pending job for the next day. And while you are doing the job, you evaluate the schedule in the morning, what you are going to do. Again, at the end of the day, you also evaluate and reassess. That means, in reassessing what you are going to do, is what I am doing working. If it is not, then what I need to change, and accordingly you change your behavior, so that you can effectively manage the time. Some concerns are there, that if the person do not have the freedom to do the job, or he lacks autonomy, or the person does not have the ability to craft the job, or he is not crafting his own job, that means he has low job crafting, and if the workload is low, the influence of others is low and a planning system is low, then time management is a option. Contrarily, when job autonomy is high, job crafting is high, workload is high, the influence of others is high and a planning system is in place, then time management is a must. Good planners can be poor at managing time while performing their planned work. So, therefore, overestimating the time may be a means of controlling time and avoiding stress, because they allow enough time for the task to be completed. However, you will find the people, those who are creative, for them posing a time on the job is very difficult, because creativity cannot be a job which can be completed within a strict stipulated time. It may take, when you are developing a new product, it may take 3 years or 4 years or 5 years. So, therefore, this time management concept may not very rightly apply to the creative people. However, they can be asked to decompose the job into different components, and each components attempts must be made to complete each component within the stipulated time. There are some concerns. If you look into the time management matrix, then you have to see that what is urgent and important, that must be tackled fast, that is crisis, pressing problems, deadline driven projects, meetings and preparations. These are most important and urgent. In one axis you take urgent and non-urgent, another axis you take important and non-important, like 4 cells you are getting. The most important cell is with the jobs which are important and urgent to you, others are not so important. Lastly, you see exercise. This is called rock and bucket for time management task, and there are 5 elements here. One is bucket, some big rocks, some small stones, some sand and water. The bucket is your available time. The rock, stone, sand, water, the 4 elements except the bucket are your task. Put the big bucket, first you have to complete the task, and in order to complete the task, you have to do a lot of small jobs here and there, so that the job will be completed. Put the big rocks in the bucket. Is it full? The answer is no. Put the small stones in around the big rocks. Is it full? The answer is no. Put the sand in and give it a shake. Is it full? The bucket is full. The answer is no. Put the water in. Is the bucket full? Yes, now it is full. The lesson we learn from here is that unless you put the big rocks first, you won't get them in at all. In other words, plan time slots for your big issues before everything else, or the inevitable sand and water issues will fill up your days and you won't fit the big issues in. Note that big task is not necessarily a work task, it can be a holiday, and then you think how you manage time. Thank you.